you know what I want us to discuss about, and you can ask me whatever questions you have. Are we together? Muko tayari na maswali? Let me start. Let me say the following. Today is International Youth Day, siku ya vijana. The United Nations set aside this day so that we can celebrate the young people globally. And we use this occasion to celebrate the young people in Kenya. And let me say that, as I said in my statement, the single most important asset that we have as a nation is the young people. The single most important asset is our human capital. It is much more important than any resource that we have. It is more important than gold. It's more important than all the things we can do. That is why, intentionally, I have decided that we are going to invest sufficient resources in making sure that we develop our human capital. How so? You know, if our human capital is the most important asset that we have, we must sharpen it. We must have proper knowledge. We must empower our human capital through knowledge, through training, and through skills development. And that is the reason why the first assignment that I took into consideration when I was elected president is to make sure that I sort out education in Kenya. You remember when we were campaigning, many people were asking why we should continue with CBC. Many were saying CBC should be abolished. Many were saying our universities. In fact, they were not saying. The reality is that our universities were struggling, including Masinde Muliro, because of the funding model that we had that time. And therefore, it was necessary for us to organize education. Why did I take up that responsibility? Because it's a very difficult responsibility. Because dealing with children, dealing with parents is not a very easy thing. In fact, I was told by my predecessor that this one is very difficult. And that is why many people did not want to touch reform in the education sector. But I had the option of doing nothing about our education sector because it is difficult. But I also had the other option of doing something about it. Maybe difficult, but getting it right. And I chose the latter. That's why I put together a task force led by Professor Munavu, put our education experts together, and they came up with a plan that we have implemented. In that plan, we have sorted out our CBC challenges. We have sorted out the transition from ECD to primary school, to junior school, to senior school, and now to university. The pathway is now clear for all parents. It was also necessary to close the gap on teacher employment. If there are representatives of NAT here, they will tell you we had a gap of 116,000 teachers that were not in class. It is the reason why by January this year, by January next year, we will have hired 100,000 teachers. We will be remaining only with 16,000 because I made a commitment to Kenya that I will close the gap on teacher enrollment. And number three, we changed, on recommendation of the task force, the funding model. Today I've had an engagement with Vice Chancellor here. And Vice Chancellor confirms to me that the new student-centered model is working for him. He can pay his staff, he can pay his bills his suppliers, and he can run courses in the university, unlike the difficulties we had under the old under the old model. So I wanted to sort out education. Why? Because unless we sort out education, we will not be able to sufficiently empower young people and our human capital to be able to deliver for Kenya. So that's number one. Number two, it was necessary as we spend money in primary school, secondary school, TVETs, and universities. And by the way, just to give you numbers, we are spending 650 billion Kenya shillings every year in educating our population, from primary school to university. 650, 30% of our budget goes to education. I took up the responsibility and said, it is not right for us to spend 30% of our resources, 650 billion, every year to educate our children, yet we don't have a plan on what happens when they finish school. The same way we have a plan on making sure all our children go to school, we should also have a plan on what they do when they come out of school. And for the first time, we developed a deliberate, intentional plan on how to engage the young people of our nation in deliberate government programs supported by the private sector so that we can create opportunities for young people. Because the single biggest problem with young people, if you ask them, is employment. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Tatizo ya vijana ya Kenya ni kukosekana kwa ajira. Na sababu hiyo ndio tukasema lazima tuwe na mpango makususi ama mahasusi ama mpango makusudi. You know? Deliberate. Kwa Kiswahili nasema makusudi. You know? Intentional. Mpango makusudi. Intentional plan ya kuhakikisha kwamba vijana wanapata ajira. And I want to give you, young people, and I want you to listen to me carefully so that you can ask me questions. We have seven deliberate programs for young people to be engaged. Number one, the reason why we rolled out our housing program was yes, we needed houses. Yes, we needed markets. Yes, we needed hostels. And we are building 160 housing units with a pipeline of 700,000. We are building 400 markets across Kenya, and we are building hostels for 170,000 students, including hostels in this Masinde Muliro, which we will start next month. I have discussed with the Vice Chancellor here. We will be doing the first 1,200 a hostel block here in Kakamega beginning next month. We have agreed with the Vice Chancellor. And we are doing it in many TVET institutions across Kenya. But the most important part of that program is the jobs that program creates. So the program of housing is more about creating jobs than doing the rest of the things that it is going to do. And let me give you the numbers. Today, as I talk to you, you heard in my statement, we have 320,000 young people working in the housing program. We're going to scale it up to 640,000 in another 2 months. And our target is to have 1 million jobs, 1 million young people every year working in our housing program. We have already advertised for 4,000 skilled professionals from universities and from TVETs who will supervise that program. We will scale it up to 10,000 by January so that they can supervise the work that we are doing in that space. So it is about jobs. It is about charging our economy. The whole construction industry will create additional jobs. The whole supply chain of cement, steel, Juakali sector, producing doors, hinges, windows, and everything else they are producing. So it's about jobs. We have never had a deliberate plan to create jobs in Kenya because we didn't gather the courage to implement housing. Now we have. It's going on. Number two, we have deliberately realigned and reorganized what we call labor mobility. That space had many crooked people. So many people were being exploited. So many people ended up in foreign countries and they were abused. Many of them sexually abused, many of them done things. We have organized that space under the National Employment Authority. I gave deliberate instructions. I sat on it for at least 2 months to straighten it up. Mama Edith is here. She's now the CEO of that organization. And through that organization, we have also signed under our Kazi Maju program, when I appointed deliberately a principal secretary to take charge of our diaspora issues and to manage relations between Kenya and other countries. We are signing bilateral labor agreements with them. And today, I can tell you, as I have said here, in the last 2.5 years, 430,000 Kenyans have gone abroad to work. Some of them have come back. Some of them are on the way. 816, I will be giving them a check of 163 million today so that they can finance their way to jobs abroad. And I want to say this with clarity. The statistics we have, and I have told you, we have the best human capital anywhere in the world. If there is a job opportunity in any company in the world, and the contest is between a Kenyan and another person from another country, the Kenyan has the first opportunity. Because we speak very good English, and our education is the best. So we have the best human capital, and we must take advantage of it. We must use it to grow our country. And because of the labor mobility program, our diaspora remittance in the last 2.5 years has increased from $4 billion to $4.95 billion. Our diaspora remittance is the single largest foreign exchange earner for our country because of the young people, because of the people of Kenya who work outside our country. And that is why I took it as one of the places where it needs government to organize. I have now sufficiently organized that sector, and I can confirm to you that any Kenyan who is now going to work abroad, we know where they are going to work, what job they are going to do, how much they are going to earn, and how we are going to support them when they run into trouble in those countries. The days when Kenyans suffered outside Kenya without any government support are behind us because we now have an organized system. That is project number 2. Project number 3 is our program that I told you about on matters to do with digital jobs. We have already 330 ICT hubs ready. We have another 400 under construction. We have signed on with many BPO countries, including Teleperformer, which is the largest BPO organization in the world. They have now set up in Kenya. And we now have 180,000 young people working on the digital job ecosystem, either in our TVETs, or in our ICT hubs, or in our Jitume labs, because We want to create opportunities for Kenyans to work in foreign companies, but working from home. Number 4 is what I want to tell you now here. We have the program of Nyota. Na nataka munisikize sasa kwa makini. And kama uko na simu, uanze kujipanga hapo kwa simu. The Nyota program is supposed to do another 4 of our programs. Number 1, there are many young people who are Form 4 graduates. They do not have any skill. They have not had an opportunity to go to any TVET or to go to any polytechnic. They don't have any skill. We are looking for 90,000 young people as phase 1 to train them. And as we train them, we are also going to pay them a small stipend. We are going to train them for 1 year. Vijana nataka mnisikize vizuri. Enda hapo kwa *254 hash. Enda kwa Nyota. I repeat. *254 hash. Network hakuna hapa leo. Nafikiri wale watu, kuna watu wangu hapa wanazoea kuzima network. Wapi wale watu? Wewe.